My last question is just, what are the grounds
if we can keep it about Hunter Biden, this is kind of a big deal, we think. If we can keep it about Hunter Biden, that would be great.
You know, it's been a rough few days for Republicans, with them wildly underperforming at the midterms due to them coddling and running election deniers and conspiracy theorists.
I can't believe John Fetterman won.
This is, in fact, bad for the Democrats. They're going to misread this as like, oh, we won.
Joe Biden was not punished.
Today was a new day in which, after taking back the House, they unveiled their new line of focus as a political party. The very important and pressing issue of Hunter's laptop. Again.
My last question is just, what are the grounds
if we can keep it about Hunter Biden, this is kind of a big deal, we think. If we can keep it about Hunter Biden, that would be great.
Meanwhile, on the very same day, the White House unveiled something of their own.
Our country is in a horrible state. We're in grave trouble.
What the Biden administration have actually done, in spite of every single attempt from Republicans to block or divert focus from what is actually helping the American people. So allow me to consolidate. He created 10 million jobs. He created 700,000 new manufacturing jobs. He gave Medicare the power to negotiate prescription drug costs. He took the most aggressive climate action in American history. He lowered the deficit with the single largest nominal reduction in American history. He signed the CHIPS and Science Act to lower everyday costs and create manufacturing jobs. After his predecessor woefully mismanaged the pandemic, he changed the course of it and jump-started the economic recovery. He made a once-in-a-generation investment in our nation's infrastructure, which of course Republicans opposed and took credit for when their districts benefited.
Republican, not a single one, House or Senate, voted for that legislation. We also passed once-in-a-generation investment in our nation's roads, highways, bridges, railroads, ports, airports, water system, high-speed internet. We got a little help from Republicans, but not a lot, but enough to get it passed. But the truth is, there are a lot more Republicans taking credit for that bill than we actually voted for it. I see them out there, and now we're going to build this new bridge here. We're all for it. And by the way, this new road, and we're going to have an internet that's going to be all the way. I love them, man. They ain't got no shame. They don't have any shame.
He signed the most significant expansion of benefits and services for toxic exposed veterans in more than 30 years, which again was largely opposed by the so-called "we support our troops" Republicans. He nominated Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. He rallied the world to support Ukraine in response to Putin's war. He pardoned all prior federal and DC offenses of simple marijuana possession. Signed 2 executive orders protecting reproductive rights, vaccinated 78% of American adults fully against COVID-19, made the largest investment in electric vehicle infrastructure, jump-started the American offshore wind industry, signed legislation to reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act, announced and implemented a plan to provide student debt relief to more than 40 million Americans.
My campaign for president, I made a commitment. That would provide student debt relief. And I'm honoring that commitment today.
Mr. President, is this unfair to people who paid their student loans or chose not to take out loans?
Is it fair to people who, in fact, do not own multi-billion-dollar businesses if they want these guys to give them all a tax break? Is that fair? Marjorie Taylor Greene, she said it's completely unfair for us to forgive student loans for working and middle-class America. She and her husband got $180,000 in business loans forgiven from the PPP program. Representative Vern Buchanan of Florida said our plan was reckless. Guess how much he got in that program? Forgiven. $2,300,000. This is not a joke. Can't make this stuff up. Ted Cruz, the great senator from Texas, he said it's for slackers, quote, slackers who don't deserve relief. Who in the hell do they think they are?
Provided over 14 million households with lower cost or free high-speed internet. This, of course, through the Affordable Connectivity Program. And lastly, while there's many more, he helped bring gas prices down. Now, of course, there is plenty more to be done, and we'll ensure that Joe Biden is held to account on the campaign promises he's made, and ones he will make in the future. But when the other side are stepping up to the podium and saying things like this.
But let's talk about the aid to Ukraine. Here in the news, we're just finding out about the situation with FTX and the cryptocurrency. So is American people's taxpayer dollars going to fund aid in Ukraine, but yet it's really funding something else that's happening, maybe ending up in Democrat donors' pockets? Was that helping Democrat campaigns? Was that helping Democrat candidates get elected? $8.9 billion is for the humanitarian assistance.
I want to tell you to keep the faith. I was watching this movie called Fright Night, Freak Night, or some type of night, but it was about vampires. I don't know if you know vampires are some cool people, are they not? But I'm going to tell you something that I found out. A werewolf can kill a vampire. Did you know that?
I'm just glad to be on the side of progress, not vampires and werewolves.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.